I've shown this before. It's a 10 millimeter long bolt that you put in there to replace the magnetism, to replace the general stud. Then all you gotta do is just turn that out gently. It takes these right out of the body. No problemo. And these holes, at least from this one, is very nicely made. Very well done. I don't know who made this guitar, but the routings in the back are really good. The gloss is quite nice on this white, especially since it's white and not black, so you don't see every little thing. This switch was loose. Well, there is a tool for that. Let's see. It was loose. Yeah, there it is. I'm just going to let it fall in the back. Oh, look, that's nice. That wasn't even glued. Yay. Oh, but it was hiding crack, and oh, the edge of this hole is not as nice. And as I thought, oh, they got really thin here. Ho ho. Oh ho. That's got to be about a 32nd of an inch. Really thin there. Okay. And all these tuners are going to have to go. And they cost a lot of money to buy, just as a gold screw. Kaboom. Anyway, I'm going to buff all that. Okay, now I'm going to have to go and unsolder all the wires to these pickups. Oh, I disconnected these pickups. They're 9K a piece. So standard neck and bridges should just fit there. Alright, I am going to get my, well, I guess I can do all that at the other bench and then come back here for the fretboard work. But I want to do all that with everything depopulated. That switch I'm going to leave there for now, just in the back. You been there? Just stick your head in the hole a little bit. Okay. Some dripped poly there. Yeah, they've got that hole really deep. Really deep. Wow. 4, 5, 6. 1 6/8. Now the up pots, here, the volume and tone, that part of the wood has been routed deeper because of the curve on the top, and there's a shelf there, and they must have put that top on afterwards because there's a rectangular routing hole in here for the wires to go up to the switch. So they must have cut a channel up underneath there with a router, and then they glued the top on afterwards. Alright, I'm going off to the other bench. Oh, they didn't get all the screws good on here. One's just on the edge. Actually, it's through the edge. That one is in the wood, and this one is barely in the wood for that back cover. So they didn't get them exactly good. The 4 holes down here are good. All right. Okay, we're stripped down. The routing in these pockets are not as good as the back. There's a lot of burrs. There is a cap, but it's mahogany and it's 3/8 of an inch, and I was right about the channel. There's a square channel in there. My light from here is missing because I put it over there while I was doing the nut. I didn't put it back yet. Yeah, so those are all good. Let's put a rag there for now and there to hold that stuff in place. So the next thing will be to work on the frets. Okay, we're taped up. Do the white beauty. I wanted to show you this. I found on Temu. These are called diamond sharpening stone. They come in different grits. 240. This one with a different pattern, 200. And they come in the narrow ones, which I'm using for spotting just, individual frets when there's just a little bit you need. They come in different grades as well. This one's a 6. I've got it in a 240, 400, etc. I've got this one in a 400 as well, also 1000. So I decided that these could be a good starting point as tools before going back to my, at the very end if I need to check the hole leveling. Yeah. So this one's a bit wider than that one. This is 200. Now when you've got a number of frets, and I've got a number of frets, and my tape is holding that, all marked up here, as you can see, and I've got it marked in red. There's lots of it, and as long as you've got some high points to ride on, you can use it in a specific area, then move it up to the other specific area where there's high points that you can ride on at either end. And then when you get those reds gone and you mark them and check them and they're all level now, then I can go back to the single long one just for making it a full length pass. But I found that these are pretty good. They'll take off a lot of the meat more quickly right at the beginning. They bite very well. Let me try this 240. It's the first time I'm using them, these ones here. Okay. This is a lot easier than sandpaper because then I can turn that over. There's almost nothing on it, and I can just, easily vacuum out the diamond grit. Now I'll see how long this stuff lasts. Sharpening knives and chisels and stuff you can do with it as well. A multiverse tool. And they don't cost much money on Temu. That's where I saw them. I thought, I'm going to give that a shot. So this is the first one that's getting it. Okay, this one's really high. It's taking it down more than the ones on the outside. I was surprised that there was not as many as I had expected. I did bang them all down last night with the hammer just to make sure I would get them in, and then if they came back up, well, this morning I would knock off the heads. It's also quite easy to roll over on some of these edges. I much prefer doing fender necks that I can get off the body. This is a bit of an obstruction. Got to be a little bit more careful. And you know they make these plates pretty flat, right? Yeah, they're pretty flat. I pre-filed all the edges. They were very sharp. So I pre-filed those last night. Okay, let's do a check. There it is. Still. Still. I hadn't marked that one, but it's getting it. Because I couldn't check it. Because I had two highs. That one's good now. Wow, that went fast. Check here. Wow. Wow. Whoa. That's impressive. Can I still go there? Yeah. That is impressive. So I've only got this problem here. That's impressive. I didn't take any time at all. I got this problem here, and then, like I said, I've got the these to go after the singles. So I know I've got a spot right there, so I can just kind of concentrate on that, balance it. Just go after the red mark. This one's a 200. Wow. That didn't take any time at all either. Okay. It was just a tiny bit there, but that was it. Now I'll just give it a one long touch. Okay, check it again. Ah, I didn't get it all. I didn't get it all. Okay, that's a good sign. Now what I've been doing lately is the last fret, which you can't really check, and the first fret, which Highline guitars says you take your, when you got the rest of them good, you take your rocker and push it up against your first fret, and if it bumps like it does there on this corner, you've got a little bit of a high spot. That's how you check the last ones. But since that one's down here, I just, colored it in red. And if it was high, it was going to get cut off anyway. This one's just a tad there, just a tad. I'm going to go with the 400 because it's not really much. It says anywhere you you feel or hear a click, it's just high a little bit. And since it's the first fret, we're just going to touch it up anyway, because I still have to cut the nut slots for the height over the first fret, so you got to be careful that it's not too low for the other ones, because then when you fret here, it'll buzz out. We're going to call that good. And I also learned a trick that if you use the crowning file on some of the ones that were really squared off, you can take off some of the edge here before getting to the sandpaper, and it makes it less hard to do with the sandpaper. And you can easily feel which of these need it and which do not. If it glides over smoothly, you feel nothing, then don't worry about it. And as soon as it glides, you're done. Ready for the sandpaper. Now you're just wanting to go on the sides of the file, not the top. Besides, the top should be low enough that it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, those weren't really affected that much. This is also good for taking off some of the wide edges that will give you a little bit of a problem. This smooths it off. Hear that? Now it's gone. That makes them more even, more smooth. You want to get all those sharp edges. Sometimes you can use this instead of the triangle file to go after these ends. There was a couple of really sharp ones with tangs hanging over, like this one here. It's not outside the binding now, so I won't feel it. I was able to get them off. So every little bit you can do like this before going to the sandpaper stops these sharp edges from chewing up your sandpaper. You learn a little bit all the time when you do these things. It's the 220 that does most of the initial work, taking off the edges. It also tears up the sandpaper the most because of that, including the edges. But if you pre-file them or do what I showed you here, Still got a problem. It helps. It helps to avoid that. And now, after you do this, go back and check the level at this point, because if it changed, this is the time to correct it as much as possible. Okay, look at that. Let's hope they work as good as they look. Okay, so the next thing is going to be take this off and condition the neck a bit before we start moving back into the body work, putting some electrics in there.